welcome back to another episode of Getting Speakers Booked, a podcast by speakers for speakers, all about helping them learn tips and tricks from so many established and amazing speakers. As always, if you are a speaker looking for a community, we have our free Facebook group, link in the description. And if you're into in-person events as well, we have a two-day in-person event here in Orlando, November 14th and 15th, all to help speakers land the stages that they're looking for. So that's a little bit about Getting Speakers Booked. I'm your host, Macy Baxi, and today I'm joined by my very wonderful guest, Warren, with us. Warren, thank you so much for the time today. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Macy, and I'm really appreciative for thanking you for having me on the show and everything as well.
Of course. Well, Warren and I got connected because we were both going to be sharing this stage together no, it's still October. So in about a
Yes.
month and a half, December 29th and 30th at the Goal Achiever Summit here in Orlando, Florida. So I'm just so thrilled to have so many amazing speakers share the stage with us. So that's just kind of how we got to know each other a little bit, and he's just doing so many amazing things. Like, oh my god, if you're talking about technology, AI, and everything you need to make the world go around, Warren is your guy. So Warren, why don't you tell everyone just a little bit about what you do and how you help people?
Yeah, my name is Warren Schuitema, and I actually started an agency called Matchless Marketing about 2 years ago now, trying to start my own business. And while I was starting it, about 2 months in, 3 months in, I started learning how to use AI to actually help me speed up a lot of my business processes. And so over the course of the next year and a half to 2 years, I've been taking all kinds of AI courses, diving into it, learning how to operate a business from my home while managing my household. Well, we have a young child at home and everything like that. We don't do daycare or anything, so it is something where I've had to learn a lot with time management and how to actually set goals and how to keep them, and how to use AI in some different ways that aren't normally thought of, for all of the usual things. Um, and so I've actually become kind of known as the AI dad. And what I kind of do is, um, all of my stuff is about how to help parents or people that are working from home to use AI to uh, do things better, be more efficient, and then that way get out of the technology more and be more present with their family and their kids.
That's an amazing mission statement. I don't know about you. Like, that is absolutely incredible. And it's really funny when people adopt some of these AI titles, right? It's usually about like a specific part of AI that they're an expert in, or sometimes they're like very good at like this part or hacking or something. So I think you being known as the AI dad specifically for families to make sure that they're utilizing it and they're being as present as possible for their kid. I mean, in an era where there's so many people who just, iPad babies or something like that, right? Where they want someone else to help fill in that role. And obviously there are different nuances to that, and not saying every parent should feel shamed by this. But that's great that's what the role that you're filling and the education you're filling. I would love for you to talk a little bit about your speaker origins as well. How did speaking start to become part of your business?
Yeah, and so speaking actually kind of just something that naturally came from when I started doing some online courses and things like that, where I was starting to do webinars and teaching families how to use AI. Actually, it started about last December. I did a webinar that was focused on using AI for um, setting your end of the year goals and for actually planning events and things like that. Because I know around the holidays, everybody gets so busy with stuff. And I was showing families and parents how they could use custom GPTs to become more creative and more, come up with the ideas for their parties and stuff, or to send out reminders to people, in a fun way. So it was just at that time, it was more of the fun way to do things. And I still try to bring that into it as with everything as well. But it started going from there. And then I've gotten a few opportunities to start speaking and sharing what I've learned and then teaching families how to actually implement it in actual situations.
Wow. I love that. And you were sharing a little bit about how you do that with me not too long ago when we first connected, and it's really fascinating, honestly. I think so many people are still learning the kind of like tip of the iceberg. They think AI sometimes or ChatGPT is like, "Oh, they can help me with, writing this email." It's like, "Okay, but there's so much more you can do it on how you prompt it to really make sure that it doesn't feel computer generated as well." I'm sure that's a big aspect for you. If you're using AI for communication, are you utilizing it in the right way? Which is a whole other topic, but you're very well versed in what you're doing. I know you're a huge help for the Goal Achiever Summit. I mean, you basically do everything for them. On top of the fact that you're a speaker, I mean, what hat do you not wear at this point? It's incredible all the things that you're doing. I would love to talk a little bit about kind of what tips do you have? I mean, I feel like when we talked, you kind of mentioned you're still a little bit new to this. So, what is something that you learned through your speaking journey that other new speakers could really benefit from knowing?
One of the things that I've learned through my speaking journey is that a lot of people really like to hear our own perspectives of things, and they like to see where we're coming from because it helps them feel more heard
Mm-hmm.
themselves sometimes, where they're like, oh, this person actually did go through these struggles. This person did have difficulties and stuff. Because you mentioned earlier the iPad babies and things like that, where um, we're guilty of it ourselves. When I'm busy and things like that, and I've got something going on, it's easy to just give my kid the tablet and say, "Hey, get out of my hair while I'm, in this meeting. I've got something I've got to do." Actually, this weekend we sent our youngest off to her grandma's for a few days so that while my wife has to work her third shift job, I can still get things done around the house
Yeah.
a little bit easier and things like that. We just have to do that every so often.
Yeah.
Um, and it's something that we've learned that by being vulnerable and showing those kinds of things with our audience, it helps them realize, hey, they're human too. They're going through these same struggles. And if they are, I can go through it and make it too, or be successful, and figure out a way. So it's just
Mm-hmm.
something that I've learned is that being open about what you're doing and actually showing those kinds of things is something that is beneficial to your audience.
Absolutely, and I love the example that you used because I think it's really easy for us as speakers. We don't realize sometimes the authority we have when we're on top of, when we're on a stage and people are watching us. We think, oh, it's just it's just Macy, it's just Warren, it's just me. Who cares, right? No one really cares. I'm still not like the big Simon Sinek or Mel Robbins of the world, so people aren't listening. But you do have that type of authority. So the words that you use on those stage matter. And if you're not able to emotionally connect, if people aren't able to see themselves in your journey, or they're not able to see their journey reflected in how you're talking to them, it will feel like a lecture. It will feel like you're beating down on them. It will feel like you're talking down on them. And I was recently talking about this with a client where I was like, hey, this is a really important part of your talk. If you're not emotionally connecting with your audience members, can you imagine, right, if you went to go watch like Kevin O'Leary, any Shark Tank member, go on that stage and all, like, they're billionaires, right? So they just come on, oh, I'm a billionaire. Why aren't you guys doing it? You're lazy. Like, you're not doing blah, 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 blah. And I'm like sitting here, I'm like, well, you guys don't know the struggle. You guys have money. That's all I can think about. Now, if they were to go, hey, I was just like I was just like you, 22 years old, sitting in the audience, wanting to make something, doing cold calls, getting rejected, I'm sitting in the audience, I'm 22, I'm like, wait, I, I see myself in that, which means if they were where I was, I can be where they are. So I think that's a huge part of how we handle our own authority because it's easy for us to be like, oh, it's just a talk. It's not that serious. They're probably not paying attention. It's like, no, they're not paying attention because you're not giving them anything to pay attention to. They're not emotionally connecting. So that's a really great point. I appreciate that.
Thank you.
Yeah, I would love to shift just a little bit and talk about the Goal Achiever Summit coming up here in December in Orlando. It's going to be a very, very exciting event. And I mean, no one knows more about this event than you do, Warren. So I will let you kind of handle. Why don't you talk a little bit about what is Goal Achievers Summit, and then you can talk a little bit about what you're going to share from the stage as well.
Yeah, so the Goal Achiever Summit is actually a 2-day event at the end of the year. And from, what Phil has told me, he specifically chose those dates because a lot of people typically take that time of year to kind of unwind and just not really do much. And he wanted to set that time for the high achievers and the goal setters to come together and get together in a spot where we can all learn and grow together, but actually set goals up for 2026. And then we're going to use masterminds and different things after that where they're going to connect people with their certain tracks that they're there for, and they'll get connected with one of us speakers afterwards where we'll follow up at certain points in the year, at 30 days, 90 days, and so on and so forth. And we'll make sure that everybody is following through on the goals that they set while they're at the summit. And I'm going to be talking specifically about how families can use AI to set goals. And we're going to go through I've got a KIDSAFE checklist that I use, and it's
Nice.
spelled out KIDSAFE. Um, and we'll go through that, and that is a safe prompting method to make sure that while you are using AI with your kids, it is giving back age appropriate responses, and it is making sure that it is following what your family should be doing for certain things, um, and not giving the responses that would get you down the wrong pathway for your kids or anything like that. So we'll go through a full checklist, and we'll set that up. And then, who knows, by December, with the way AI is advancing, there will be ways that we can connect it right to certain calendars and things like that. I mean, I've already got ChatGPT connected to my Google Calendar, so if families there have that same kind of capability, we'll be able to show how they can actually create tasks and routines that will go right to their calendar. And then that way they'll be able to keep up with those goals through all of 2026.
That's amazing. I love Kids Safe, and I think that's obviously really important as so many kids. And I feel like I'm just at a I grew up at like kind of a weird time. I was born in 2003, which means like I was born when the internet was made, but like people still didn't know what it was. So I was alive for like early internet, but I wasn't because my parents didn't know what it was. But now it's like every kid knows about internet and every kid wants to be on internet as much as possible. So it's really like the parents' job, it's those guardians' job of being like, hey, I want you to use this and I want you to make it easier for your life, but how do we make sure that you're staying safe? And also, like, just in general, I think sometimes there's too much on the internet and I don't want to see it either. I'm 22. I want to be protected as well. I
Yeah.
want those safeguards, you know? I'm like, I don't want to see that. That's too much information for me to know today. It's not serving me. But what I really loved is what you were talking about when Phil started creating. And if anyone doesn't know, Phil Taylor is the organizer. He's the great mind behind Goal Achiever Summit, and he is just a really great gentleman, just an amazing guy to know. And so a lot of people, I've talked to so many Goal Achiever Summit speakers as well, and we all really share that vision of like, we don't want these 2 days to just be like, oh, I learned something, this is great, my business, I'll probably apply one tip. It's like, no, all of these speakers have a very specific framework that you can apply tomorrow. We want you to apply it, December 31st. We want you to apply it December 30th, December 29th. And like that is what we're all there to do. And everything that I've learned from a speaker, everything I've learned from Phil just really goes to support that this is an event. If you are a high achiever who knows that 2026 is going to be the year you explode, you're going to explode even more, or you're ready to go to lengths in your business that you've never gone before, I mean, it sounds like this is the 2 days for them. Would you say that's correct?
Yes, I would say that's correct. And I know from speaking to the other speakers as well, it's not just in business areas. Like I said, mine's going to be about family and how they can set
Mm-hmm.
goals to be better in 2026 as a family unit. There's people that are going to be about personal growth. There's going to be people that are all different areas and aspects of what you could imagine for speakers to be there for. So there's
Hmm.
just any kind of thing that you'll go grow with so much knowledge over those 2 days.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Warren, I'm super excited. I will make sure I have all of the information about Goal Achiever Summit in the description so people can click, copy, and paste, go get your tickets. It's definitely worth it. Or if you have any questions, you're always welcome to reach out to myself or Warren. Our information will be in the description. And just ask us any questions, right? I know that this is just such an amazing group of event organizers and speakers, and we want to make sure it's an event for the attendees, not for us. So I'm really, really excited. Warren, is there any last thing you'd kind of like to let everyone know, throw anything out there before we wrap it up?
Um, like she was saying, just the event at the end of the year is a great time to come down. It doesn't have to be just for you as in a business or speaking. Bring your family down. It's going to be at the Hilton Orlando, where there's going to be lazy river, all kinds of pools and stuff. My kids are going to be down there swimming while I'm speaking, and stuff like that. So I know there's going to be a lot of fun. And then there's all kinds of amusement parks around there afterwards as well. So it's a really great time to come down um, and do that and learn and grow. And if you are a
Yeah,
business owner and you come down, use it as a tax write-off at the same time. So,
there you
it's
go.
just one of those kinds of things. It's a double whammy. You come on vacation with your family and you get a vacation tax write-off. So just think about that.
You heard it here first, folks. We have real tax advice on these podcasts as well. Getting speakers better tax write-offs is going to be the new
Let's
title.
build something meaningful.
But
Starts in 10 minutes.
awesome.
Sorry,
Well,
my
thank.
glasses had something to
Oh,
say. My
oh my
meta
gosh!
glasses.
I literally was like so scared for a second. I was like, I have no
No,
idea
that's
what that was.
that's my meta glasses. I've got those. That's part of my AI. To try to stay connected as much as possible. And this helps keep me out of screens. Actually,
Oh
that's
wow.
something because I'm able to connect it with my calendar. I've connected it to my AI assistants and things like that, so I can actually do quite a bit without having to pull out my phone. So
I love it. Well, there you go. So awesome. Well, Warren, thank you so much for the time. I had a lot of fun. I'm really excited to hear about your KidSafe framework on December 29th and 30th. All information will be in the description. Click, copy, and paste. And as always, if you're a speaker, you're looking to get connected to more speakers, join our Global Speaker Circle Facebook group in the chat. And I look forward to seeing you guys next time. Bye.
thanks. Bye.